Good morning, everyone. The clock just turned from 11:20 to 21, and 11 is written 11/2, and then 21 is completion. So we went from the decision to the completion of the cycle with justice, which is truth and balance. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath first. I am Ha. I am Aham. I am At. And so it is. All right, we're going to roll the die, and then we're going to do the 40, 5D, 60 union read and the twin flame read. Let's see what's coming up for the twins today with the die. Okay, we have the 6 of the lovers. Also love, family, and community. The 6th of the 6th sign, or 6th house, is Virgo as well. We have Jupiter here that looks like the number 4 or 2-4 even, and then we have Taurus over here. Okay, so Taurus, 6 of home, love, home, and family and community, and the lovers, and Jupiter, which also can be Sagittarius energy, and then 6 can also be the lovers of Gemini, and the house is Virgo. So that's that Mercury energy that came up yesterday, along with Taurus and Sagittarius, along with Jupiter of expansion, and Taurus of going the long haul, but also being stubborn and holding on to things regarding the family and the community. So let's start with the union read here. For those of you not familiar with my read, this is the 4D, this is the 5D and 6D. The feminine's on the left, the masculine's on the right, and the bridge between them in the center. Incoming divine feminine, outgoing divine masculine, the underlying energies, and the closing energies here. And this is the Syrian Starseed deck. This is the twin flame read you see in front of you, the basic read from the Syrian Starseed deck, and then the complete read that is in front of you, my 7-deck read. And again, it is a lot of energy. It's a general read for the divine masculine and the divine feminine twin flames. So if something doesn't resonate, don't force it to fit. Not all the messages are going to be for you. And this is where you use your own discernment to recognize what is a message for you and what isn't a message for you. If you want something more specific to you, all my information is below, as well as on my website, twinflames3344.com. And I have a CD out there also called Ashes, Twin Towers to Twin Flames by Evelyn Stainthorpe, if you want to check that out. It's only $1 for a song, so it's a great way to support. And we're going to get right into the union read here. So we have the underlying energy, and again, today is the 19th of June, 2021. 19 is the sun. And we have the energy of the 30 today, which is the 4 of Wands, the union energy coming off of the 29, or the 3 of Wands yesterday, being present in the moment, or the gift. The 19 of the sun today, yesterday was the moon, so we have the sun and the moon coming together, along with 2021, which was the clock when we started the read at 11:20 to 21, which is going from the judgment, the decision, the wake-up call, the announcement, the clarion call, to the 21, which is the world in completion, completing the cycle, which would be a really positive energy for us. We have the underlying energy of the chariot, which is that bold energy of movement forward and upward, ascension. The stars in the center of the read, and the closing card is the 2 of Swords, being in your knowing and keeping your energy clear. I started this read or cut and dealt at 348, which is 3 of the Empress, but also Gaia and abundance coming together and joy, the happy-go-lucky person, the smiley person, and then 48, which is the 8 of Cups, walking away and within, or perhaps taking a hike, or just getting out with nature. We have the Charioteer in the vehicle of ascension, the driving, the passenger, and senses. You fill up my senses, handling the reins, reigning in those sensations, the temptations sing. Atma, to the rock star and music of the spheres, driving like an Indian, walking like an Egyptian, the transfer of a token, a gentle healing, or word spoken or sung. Samsung, floating on rock in mists of Avalon, finding just the right spot, floating on a wing in a prayer, driving, walking, floating your boat, ascending and healing, and then grounding and integrating on break of the tides, the waves, wearing down the rock to expose their juicy center. So that was the opening statement here. So somebody might be in court, or somebody might be doing a presentation. The incoming Divine Feminine here is at 408, which is the Emperor and the Strength card, and Spirit connecting with me. The Emperor and the dance of the masculine and feminine, of the inner and outer strength, of manifesting their dreams, with the 9 of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles here. And remember, the Emperor is all about control as well. Getting her wish, this is for the Divine Feminine, getting her wish with 5 rays on tie, 5 cups on table, activating 5 hearts who have lay their cards on the table in activation of stone breaking plant, breaking through to the other side. I was getting that just before the read too. To the other side, right? So that's coming up. The empty vessel of the instrument, the hallowed ground, the Queen of Pentacles by the creek or lily pads or pond, with no idea what lies beneath. Perhaps a diamond mine or crystal retreat makes its way up to the surface or street. Very interesting there. Diamond in the rough made its way through to the other side with a sigh from ground penetrating radar, which is from Archaeology Glossary, and grid and grave, garden to jetties, always surprises to be found. Without a sound. At 418, which is the Emperor and the 18 of the Moon, we have the 4D of the solar deity, the Sun, the higher self, and the lovers. The Divine Feminine sunflower, igniting Pegasus's winged fire, fully energized, tank full, exposure of all. The Divine Masculine lovers exuding rainbow light, or smoking hot, both breaking through to the other side at higher self. The monkey or monk key in the middle, in the moat with scriptures. In the 5D is the King of Pentacles, the star and the shadow, the Divine Feminine Akashics, and the King of Pentacles, master of crystals, or Christ-like, or crystals, with lower jaw, without lower jaw, or chinny chin chin, missing, and a glowing crown, livid or lived. Again, talking about past records here. This is also the shadow of the star coming up here with the King of Pentacles. The Divine Masculine in shadow work, practicing with Spidey in the cave. And again, Spider came up again big time. Spidey was the focus of yesterday's Oracle cards. And then I went to do dishes this morning, and I never see Spider in the sink. You know, my couple aunts are always there hanging out with me. But today there was a little black spider in the sink. And as soon as he realized I wanted to do the dishes, he ran right down the drain, right? The eensy-beensy spider went up the water spout, down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the eensy-weensy spider came up the spout again. So the message, again, was all about the spiders and spirits connecting with me, that they never give up. And there's more about the spider for me this morning, which I'll get to after this read, before I do the twin flame read. So the Divine Masculine shadow work practicing with Spidey in the cave, in the same spot as the Divine Feminine in the 4D with records, but he in the 5D outer dimension, she on the bridge, elevating to rock star status with music of the spheres whispering secrets in their ears. The 6th dimension here is the 2 of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. The Divine Feminine in her Divine Masculine, surrendering to the universe on land at sea, which is at the junction, the beach, offering crystals to elementals for a gift in return, you see, and to pink aura, Nataru, Shari, not a ruse, Hari, Krishna, Vashti, and Ganesha, and Vashti, or Vishnu. The Divine Masculine and his Divine Feminine, with handle on the truth and mosaic of our lives, grounding the point as to no point, when no longer feels sharp or hurts. Bridging with the King of Wands shaman at 449, which is the Emperor, and the 9 of Cups, being happy with self or getting your wish. And then at 450, which is the Emperor with the fulfilled family or complete emotional fulfillment. That 70s show, the Master of Flames, Master of Ceremony in the 3-ring circus of Triquetra and Petra, the sunrise and sunset, a rising sign well kept and wept. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. The Divine Feminine here is sunshine, energized, the King of Pentacles surrendering to it all. The Divine Masculine, the lovers smoking out the shadow web to pull the trigger at the fair, dunked and caught in net, pool, or puff of smoke in a magic trick or illusory show. The bridge here is the higher self, introducing the star, the Master of Ceremony, the magic trick of expressing 3 dimensions all at once. Clearing the Akashics, the reading of the will, again this is a free will planet, the astral traveling to that 70s show with 60s lovers behind and crazy 8s just ahead, headbanging time, now living all decades of the rainbow all at the same time, to each his own, to have and to hone. We have the outgoing Divine Masculine here with the Knight of Cups, and the Spirit's connecting with me. Knight of Cups, Knight of Wands, 9 of Wands, and the Page of Wands here. So again, that was the Knight of Cups, 9 of Wands, which is the Wounded Warrior, and the Page of Wands, the Inspired one, with the outgoing Divine Masculine in Dolphins Play, Hide and Seek, under the water and through the weeds, to grandmother's house we go. There was a reference to Gaia there. The Wounded Warrior being good at child's play and gaining followers to their deity and tribal masks. The mothers worshiping their son's flame in his knowing and keeping to himself to get the royal treatment. Finding peace and surrender, inspired by inner knowing. And the final number for this read was the 29, which was big yesterday, of the 3 of Wands, which also was the number yesterday added up to. The 29 of being present in the moment, the gift of the moment, or the gift of yourself. The horizontal pillars were the 4, 0, and 25, which is the Emperor, source or space between, and the Knight of Wands. And the vertical pillars were 9, 1, 2, 6, 9, 2, which is the Hermit, Magician, High Priestess, Lovers, the Hermit, and the High Priestess again. Divine Feminine had Cancer and Leo on her side, with the Queen of Pentacles and King of Pentacles, which can be a couple or siblings, or 2 earth signs there, masculine and feminine. And then Divine Masculine had Capricorn and Gemini on his side, with the Queen of Swords and the Page of Wands, which can be any 2 people really. Between the masculine and feminine were Pisces, Aquarius, and the King of Wands shaman. So the message coming up as the Emperor needing space from the Knight of Wands at present, hermiting the Magician and higher self lovers, the Hermit and higher self present to magic, the Hermit hanging out offering a new life to the higher self with a gift, the Divine Feminine popping out, the Divine Masculine popping under, the Queen of Pentacles versus the Wounded Warrior, she with service for 5, he getting serviced, she ascending quickly, and he taking his time manifesting new information. It's the rock star healer and the shaman, the higher selves, right? Because they are two as one is the higher self. The higher selves, rock star healer and shaman, two queens, father and son, or father and daughter, and mother and son, all in this read. So then we get to the twin flame read, but I do want to tell you what came up about the spider this morning. And also, I told you how my Delphi plant, my delphinium, has been leaving me petals on the sidewalk outside my door when I come out in the morning. And so there was one left the other day. Well, today there was many left out. But the ones most prominent were two facing each other, and then another that was half off the ledge. And that's like that third party, and sitting on the fence, standing on the bridge, people thinking about jumping off the cliff or just taking that leap of faith. So what was coming up with the spider this morning? Oh, and by the way, I wanted to, just for fun, try the foot patches to detox metals. So I did my first night of the foot patch last night, and I definitely felt headachy, which I don't get headaches usually at all. So I was headachy, feeling that last night. And I'll keep you posted. I'm supposed to do it for 5 days, so I'll let you know how that works out. But the patches were definitely dark this morning, and they're supposed to fade after 5 days. So I will let you know. And then I did a clearing this morning with Chris Macklin, which is always amazing. And then the spider, I told you, the black spider was in the sink. He was pretty small, not like the tiny spider that came down over my bed the night before. That was tiny, that was like a little, I don't know, like a little flea or something. It was tiny. The spider in my sink was very small too, but it was more thick and black and probably like the size of a dime. It was small. And then like I said, it ran right down the drain. And I wrote, I never see spiders here, only my ants, who are a couple of them present today. So I haven't had any issues with my ants. There's only usually between 2 and 5 ants will show up around my sink to hang out with me. And some days none will show up. And I haven't done a thing to keep them out. So I'm just letting you know. When you become one with nature, there's no conflict there. There's no, struggle. So, and the energy of spidey sense came up in something I was listening to as I saw the spider in the sink, and that was at 10:08, which is also a special date for me. I don't know why, but it's always been a special date for me, that, and I think April 23rd and October 8th. But also, when I was doing my clearing this morning, still in bed, the crows started up, and I looked at the clock, and it was my birthday, 9/18. So the crows were calling me at my birthday. And then again, I woke at the 29, which is the energy from yesterday. And then the next energy was 46, which is the two of the children, hugging each other, loving each other, the inner children and outer children. But again, the spider and then the spidey sense came up, as well as the 29 of yesterday and the spider coming up yesterday as well. And then I wrote down again the meaning of the spider from the animal spirit deck, which is creator of prosperity through life's work and dharma, the ingenious creator weaving a thread to support themselves but also others around them financially and spiritually. They're very hard workers, but the spider never tires nor becomes impatient, focuses on the process, not the outcome. So abundance follows this. So they're appreciative, enthusiastic, and prosperous, and when they're discouraged or tired or forlorn, they're guided to playful creativity. Remember, the spider never gives up, and that was the message yesterday across many different animals like the beaver and the spider. They never give up. And it's not about the energy of surrender. Surrender is not the same as giving up, right? Giving up is no longer wanting to try, whereas the surrender is allowing the universe to help you instead of getting in your own way. And then I picked up a few of the petals from the sidewalk from my Delphi. And I was getting the energy of purple cabbage, corn on the cob, little critters hanging out. And that could be elementals too in the nature. Also 2 fish about to kiss, perched or puckered, off the stem and on their own. So again, kids going out on their own. Also was getting a leaf holding a leaf, like intertwined, shaking hands, overlapping, holding on, an egg, a baby wrapped in swaddles, which actually came up in the movie I watched last night, two hearts as one, on the edge of walk by deck, but also saving something that fell over the edge, like a near loss and you caught it just in time. Also a bird in a tree nest holding on to something like a mailbox, which came up with the petal the other day, the mailbox. So perhaps waiting for something to come in. And then keeping baby away from them, the two fish about to kiss. It's like the third one on the fence, keeping the baby away from them. So that was very interesting coming up as well. All right, so and I'm getting really sweaty and hot right now. Really, really sweaty. All right, for me, that's usually when a lot of masculine energy comes in. All right, so for the Syrian Starseed deck and the Twin Flame read here, it was cut and dealt, the Syrian Starseed deck, at 555. The 555 is a whole lot of change. And we have the underlying energy here of the Four of Crystals, or Four of Pentacles, which is the Divine Masculine in the Bat Cave for me in this deck. We have the mini cards on top and 5 cards down, 5 cards out, which makes it a 21 card read, which again is completion and the world. At 6:04, and this is the read for today, the 19th, and it's June, so the 6 of the Lovers, the 19 of the Sun, 2021. And then we had at 6:04, which is the Lovers and the Emperor, alchemy, but without the A. So more, instead of alchemy, alchemy, right? El can reference the Elohim, the letter L of love, and of course, chemi can reference chemistry as well. And I told you I was just getting really hot, like burning up. So a very high vibe alchemy, like the Elohim energy, in a really high vibration. The alchemical process. So at 6:16, I finished clarifying the read. That was the Lovers and the 16 of the Tower energy. The Tower of sudden events, explosions, eruptions, epiphanies, but also it references sex as well, and that release. The Reason, the major arcana, the Reason, which is the Emperor, the Tower, and Alchemy, which is the Temperance card. And after the read came up Abundance, which is the Empress. So we have the Emperor and the Empress, Reason and Abundance. The Hanging Man came up as well, Luna, and Guidance, which is the Hierophant. We had 1 Pentacle, 3 Swords, 2 Wands, 2 Cups. And the numbers in the read, we had 777s, so again, a very highly spiritual vibration here. The 7 is the calm before the storm. It's like, coming into the 0 point. The 777s is the number that doesn't fit on Earth. It's the connection to the outer realms. We have the double 4s and double 6s, which is the double 4 of mastery, the 4 of cups, which is considered boredom in 3D, but for us it has to do with grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, especially receiving of love. And then the 66 of the Queen of Pentacles and the 777s, being very grounded and mastering and being of another world as well, right? Not of this world. And then we had 1322, which is the 13 of the transition, the Death card, the transformation, the Dark Knight, and the 22 of the Fool, with an open heart taking a leap of faith. In the numerology book, the Divine Triangle, the 22 is what bridges from the major arcana, from the 21 of the world, completion, going into the new cycle of the Fool with an open heart taking that leap of faith, which references like the child leaving high school or the child leaving elementary school, whatever it is. They're human, but they're still naive as the Fool. But for us, that's a very positive thing, staying in your inner child while being mature at the same time. So we have the numbers there, and the message line was all about environment, and it was broken up into envir and onment. So we'll get into that in a second. The code line numbers were all about 24, coming from 7, 6, 10, and 1. 24 is the Queen of Wands. It's also the end of the Greek alphabet, the Omega, but it's also the 24 chromosomes, because there's 23 sets plus 1 invisible set of chromosomes, which came up, I think it was under Sam the Illusionist channeling, but that was very interesting because I always wondered about that, because whenever I see numbers that are very significant like DNA, I wonder why is it the 23 and 46, but it's actually 24 and 48 because there's one invisible set. Very interesting there. So environment and the other numbers, we had 1322, which again is the death and the fool, the triple sevens, the double fours and sixes, the 10 of the high vibration trill, the 10 and computer code, the high vibration. The 24 and 46 both came up here, the Queen of Wands and the Six of Cups of the children in the garden, or the children in this deck hugging each other. The 12 of the Hangman, the 47 of the Seven of Cups, the synchronicities, the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, the humble loyal servant, and 710, which is 0 behind 71, which is the Three of Pentacles, the co-creation card for me, or the workplace. We had 789 just in time, but this is also the 5D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is the 3D, 4D, 5D. And then 8, 9, 10, begin again and again and again, keep coming back to center. 78, which is the completion of the deck. The dream family of the 10 of Pentacles, heaven on earth. And then again, the 9, 10, again and again and again, keep coming back to center. 9, 10, begin again. So, and just like the spider, okay? So we have all about the environment, the green environment here today. And the messages coming up were to see Sophia expand Sophia. The 7th, left, dead end, right? She is the divine feminine on the left. The 7th is the of another world. The lovers, Sophia 9, or the 6 of love, family, and community, off ending pain in a flash of light. And loving the I, environment. So envire and onment were coming up as was very interesting because envire is about the neighborhood being off as opposed to on, and then being on was with onment, right? It's the energy of being on. So it's literally like being off the neighbor. When the neighborhood is off, it's because they've been being on, which is artificial. Also, Jesus as Jesus' husband, brave warrior, now bitching and whining at the front, like on the front of the war, that type of thing, and falling out, not in. Okay, and this is again about sitting on the fence of the divine masculine. I'm going to say that again. When the neighborhood's off, it's because of being on. Jesus' husband, the divine masculine, brave warrior, bitching and whining now at the front, right? Not wanting to be on the front lines, falling out, not in. Some of the other messages were coming up as says ES, which is S of Sophia, but also the reflection of 23, which is the King of Wands. Says Sophia, the 7th time out, 6 off, or of flames, lovers, expanding and contracting, the bliss of light and love, and the I am that I am. The session of wandering, astray, after funeral preparations perhaps, only him, her, it, and themselves remain. 7th, 6, after sixthly Sophia, it's like a tongue twister here, so that may be a message for somebody. The 7th, 6, after sixthly Sophia, and I always get sexy Sadie when that comes up, of expansion and contraction, or in other words, reflecting both sides of yourself, right? The of this world and the not of this world. And you notice the 6 to the 7 because that's the middle of the astrological chart, which came up yesterday between Virgo and Libra, is the center of the astrological chart. It's the middle road. The 6 to 7 is the Knight of Pentacles, the humble loyal servant. Reflecting the bliss of light and love, I am that I am, my surroundings, when off, focus in a state of being on or forcing the situation. So when something's off, we turn on or opposed to leaving it alone, right? So we don't need to get affected by the negative energies around us. We can keep our energy clear and not be affected, not allow others to affect your energy, and allow your energy, your positive energy, then to inversely affect them instead. Also, maggots and eggs were coming up. Safety and security, social security even, or safety and security, even being even to the nth degree, or calm. Lovers often of thoughts and words, right, which throw you off balance, which is blind men and orphans as well. Again, maggots and eggs, safety and security, even to the nth degree, lovers often of thoughts and words, blind men and orphans, and in a flash of light and love, I, a product of my environment. Okay. Also, ceases the chariot. So a chariot could seize up. That could be a car that's down or paralyzed by the ascension process, unable to go forward to the nth degree. Seizes the day, but the engine seizes or ceases to exist to the nth degree when the divine feminines are off, expanding and contracting or reflecting the betrayal and pain to self, love, I, or ENT virus, or outer nuclear membrane, which references the inner ear and the inner nose, the inner eye. Again, so someone might have, a cold or an ENT type of virus. To see with your eyes, see with the emotion of the see with the letter C of the Christ or unity consciousness, and vent, the release point, right, to allow the pressure out. The vent to toggle left to the divine feminine, because when the divine feminine collective is off and in pain, the masculine is supposed to make chickpea noodles, it's like cup of noodles, or shave and self-love in fluctuating environment. So not allowing, again, the feminine energy around the masculine to affect their high vibration, whether it's, a partner or children or people at work affecting them. See, and vent by toggling left. When the feminine collective is off and in pain, make chickpea noodles, shave, or love yourself in fluctuating environment. Okay? Find something else to do to keep yourself distracted or centered in your high vibe energy. So we start here with the Four of Pentacles reversed. Beneath that, and remember, beneath the surface, we never know what we're going to find, and some very positive stuff is coming up in the read, from the union read, that we may find, you literally may find crystals in a certain spot, and it was coming up like under, like ponds or creeks, or even the stone breaking plant coming through the street, which the diamond in the rough was coming up right regarding that. So let me know if anything resonates with you. And you may just find crystals in the most oddest of places, like just right in front of your face, as a gift for you, perhaps from the elementals. So the Page of Wands reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed here, who are very much alike right here. The Page of Wands and Queen of Wands can be siblings who have a big age difference, or they can be mother and child. They can be partners where the masculine's younger than her or more immature than she is, but they're both reversed, which is either sick or tired or out of control, pissed off. They could very much have bad tempers or be all over the place with their energy. But they're coming up as very much alike in energetic exchange of suffering and silence, or a sister perhaps, whenever falling out, thinking of bad childhood, and then going back into that energy, difficult kids, or the past returning for the divine masculine to now open his heart further. The Page of Wands reversed is frustrated and powerless, or too dependence, grounding and integrating, or losing patience or temper, or being fallen angels under the radar, bad little angels. The Page of Wands reversed, and then the Sovereign reversed as well here, offering little bits of love to try to get the divine masculine to open back up. So it's like two kids who did something wrong to piss off the divine masculine, and they're trying to get back in his favor. The prisoner of the past, dropping the ball, act, or patterns. The King of Swords, who was missing, and I still haven't found him. He's somewhere around here in the mini deck, but I don't know where he went. There's confirmation at 11:55. Oh, by the way, at 11:55, or at 9:55, I looked at the clock again today. The 55 is important. 11, the 10 of a turn for the better, the 11 of truth and justice. 55 is the Ace of Swords, the whole truth. And that was just confirming I'm going to have hang out with my daughter's friend tonight. So we're going to have some fun and have dinner and do girly stuff like that. So the King of Swords is missing here, right? I don't know if he's upright or reversed here. He's not one of the major cards in the read, but he is missing in the minor arcana here. So the Knight of Swords is upright here, right next to the King of Swords, which can be his actions in moving in fast, or this can be a child of his who's playing up against him or with him. But there could be a disconnect of communications here with the Hierophant expecting others to bow down to them if they expect to take their position when they leave. So again, it could be two vying for the Hierophant's position, which also the Hierophant can just be the leader of the establishment or the religion or whatever it is for you. It's Taurus energy, commitment energy of marriage, establishment, religion, societal norms, the way things are done traditionally. But again, the slave driver is coming up here and slaves out in the cold while the Hierophant is in comfortable conditions. Two sides of the track and field, right? So living on the other side of the track and field coming up, but also on the other side of the field, because we always talk about our etheric field when we're dealing with our meditation sessions. At 713 is the Chariot and 13 of the transition. So two sides of track and field with mediator in order of his holiness and cheaper by the dozen. And this could be a joint marriage too, like a religious man who wants to have a joint marriage of 6 couples at once, or 6 plus 6 channels with 7 between. And again, that's the 6 and the 6 of the Queen of Pentacles, but also the two different sets of lovers, channels with 7 between, right? The 7 is the odd number between from here to the other side. A man with explosives and warning bell going off, or late to class and was sent to the principal's office, or 2 fighting as to who makes the announcement, who gets to do it, or who introduces the famous guest speaker or prominent guest speaker, or gets stuff in, or getting stuck in the nosebleeder section. But I wrote stuff by accident, so somebody might need to put stuff in their nose to plug it up because someone might actually have had a nosebleed. Sadhguru with all the answers, my friend, to end division of labor, country, family, being the whole planet with one national anthem. But I was raised to believe. And then we need to lower your need to believe that. Father and son in fight to be number 1, to get an award to achieve before the finish line. At 722, the Chariot and the Fool, or slave to who gets to watch their program. So it's like, fighting over the TV channel or fighting over the news. The Page of Pentacles reversed, in need of help to stand up to or about a negative past, of falling out, or difficult children pushing their buttons. Knee high in the weeds, a dumping a load or push to their limit, purging or sweating it out, getting every last bit of juice out, or insisting on fresh squeezed when the heat is on and the grass overgrown, which is funny because I just told you how much I was heating up and I feel completely fine now and cool. So this could be the one, and beneath that was codependency, and then being dumped on, or dumping a load, purging, sweating, or peeing too much, the hermit missing their flame, the dark priestess with the keys, the palm tree went down, no more gaslighting, strong-arming tactics, or taming the beast, or tackling the beast, or being forced to drink the water, no more of that. No more going by the book and taking their time. Slow as a turtle, while they've already skipped the dessert and making out, or ending the fantasy here. So again, when the turtle's so slow, they're realizing they've already skipped to the finish line and reaping the rewards of the benefits, right, of the win, while they're taking their time being slow. Pisces and bubble blowers and cleavage to their belly button, an open book test after wrestling with the dog and playing footsie with the cat. Read the instructions, but then tossed out the book when it got too confusing, Or perhaps the kid's fantasy about owning a pet is now over, but the duty is not, or snot, or being told, if you want some, this is like a sexual ploy. Well, if you want to, get with me tonight, it's kind of like that energy, you have to drink the water. Or throwing out all the rules altogether, or battling on which pet they can keep or give up. Sagittarius reversed and Taurus upright, Virgo, Pisces upright, and Leo reversed here. Physical activity is significant here with the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, moving forward at a slow pace, right? A very moderate pace, the loyal, humble servant. And then beneath that, personal growth with the number 7, which is out of this world. The calm before the storm, or the 0 point here, the 0 point field. So the 741, again the 7 of the Chariot, the 41 of the Ace of Cups, as the Page of Cups is upright, or an offer of love, destined, with the Emperor reversed out of control, and the Knight of Swords rushing in with the truth, or Russian with news. Issues at work with dependent, spending, powerlessness, or loss of money, power, and independence in a divorce, break, or contract, thinking outside the box, or with Taurus reversed, Libra upright, Aries reversed here too. The young ones taking over and spending to fix up the place or transform it, out with the kiln or press or lathe, losing a home and business that you worked so hard to get just right in a divorce or break or financial loss here. 747 is the Chariot and the 7 of Cups, both church and state falling as the wheel turns. The Divine Masculine's heart opens to come out of the Batcave to Taurus, or about Hierophant dumped, purging or pushed to the limit, no longer confused, found the one, and physically active. And that could be working out. So under the most underlying energy of the read here is needing the strength and courage, the good health, to overcome injustice in a split, lie, BS, and need for clarity or the whole truth. Going forward after the read is about the Queen of Swords being stuck or blocked in 5D connection and healing and forgiving, the Emperor upright in energetic exchange, at home or in union. Finding peace away from the devil, frustrated by implementing a plan, or the 2 of Cups connection, partners working to align, but dissatisfied with Hermit shedding light, or just shedding in general. And the Scrooge letting go to fix, now no longer receiving love post-war or post-virus, which came up in the code line too with environment. So in the recent past here is the 6 of Wands reversed, feeling a failure, needy for attention, doing things under the radar to find peace, with the Hermit's light or watchful eye at night, in the 5D connect working on details, perhaps with Virgo Cancer, and the Page of Cups upright with the King of Cups reversed, dealing with the Queen of Wands reversed, and her death, her ending, her dark night or transition, or working with innocent child whose father is emotionally unavailable due to the Queen of Wands reverse, death, or ending with her. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, and Virgo here. And in the foundation is the 4 of Wands, the home, the union, the Queen of Cups upright, focused on love and her heart, and the Knight of Cups reversed, avoiding a disaster or fight perhaps, or explosively jealous, in a twist of fate, suffering in silence, or dealing with their sister. And this could be Queen of Cups and Knight of Cups reversed, can be siblings or a couple, or the masculine and the feminine. But again, one could be jealous of the other, but in a twist of fate, suffering in silence, or dealing with a sister, purging, not sleeping, or stressed out. Scorpio and Libra reversed, both of them reversed here. The central energy being the 2 of Swords reversed, with new information about the third energy, frustrations, lack of arousal, inspiration, and surrendering to rejection or spoiled child. In uncomfortable energies with the Page of Pentacles reversed. So here's 2 reversed children here, the Page of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, they're both reversed. 2 not getting along due to insecurity and manipulation, and not having the tools in order to manifest something they want. playing hardball with player falling short or paralyzed by their passions and not expressing themselves. Express yourself. The Page of Wands reversed is not sharing, imbalanced or in debt, arrogant about the energetic exchange or going back and forth with the King of Cups reversed, and sad about the Queen of Swords upright speaking their truth and didn't listen. Losing the battle, healing and forgiving, foolish behavior of the Queen of Wands reversed, or not mothering properly. The Page of Pentacles reversed, needing help after hurting themselves or self-inducing pain, or feeling sorry for themselves, and grounding and integrating with the Queen of Wands reversed, fallen angel, or Sag, or no longer patient, with holding or playing hardball with the truth or an arrest to cause a surrender of the Knight of Cups reversed, rejected, moody, jealous, or schmoozer who's always kissing up to everyone to get their own way, who's in uncomfortable energies but refusing to walk away or leave, standing up to the King of Pentacles upright, who's speaking about taking a new path to clear the record at 8:13, which is the strength, the dance, manifesting of dreams, and the 13 of the transition of that and coming clean. So now here's the Emperor upright, upstanding, sending out a messenger or a private investigator perhaps, or PI, to bring back the truth. Frustrated, not aroused, not sharing with Aquarius and or Taurus reversed, in a divorce, justice, Libra awakening with Emperor and upright and King of Cups reversed, and they always come up as the two patriarchs of the family, not sharing, choice of path, or chose different paths along the way. The Emperor upright about success, and the King of Cups reversed may have addictions or emotionally detached. So the Emperor can also be the King of Cups reversed, where he's, on at work, totally in control, but in his emotional life, he's completely a mess because he's emotionally detached, not facing his feelings. So dumping emotional attachments now, and or multiple loads, in silence or negative self-talk, rumors and lying, or the Page of Swords reversed with a mouth, Aquarius upright, Queen of Pentacles upright, and Queen of Cups upright here. They may be having nightmares or just stressed out, but they're upright, about coming together with love or third party through work from the past, perhaps unwilling to burn the past in a losing battle that wasn't worth fighting for, and with clarity about their block, the warpath, in a break up, a breakdown, break in, break out, or break through, the fight or flight, or with car issues, or canceled a move. Soon here is the Seven of Swords upright, passing downloads, the Queen of Swords upright unhappily in energetic exchange with the King of Cups reversed, who's been running away from unhappy family, or lying, cheating, and stealing, or running away from himself, or emotional cycles that are so overdone, with the World upside down, or Divine Feminine in the 5D, Pisces reversed and Scorpio upright, or Death, Dark Night, and the King of Pentacles with the Divine Feminine in 5D and announcing it, the Knight of Wands reversed falling short and emotionally unfulfilled. The twin flames seeing themselves as the Seven of Cups reversed, coming back downstairs, or perhaps in the energy loop in the retrograde, right, in order to build momentum to go back up again. The Devil waving, or Capricorn Queen of Pentacles here, out in the cold with hostage or visiting prisoner, weak, falling, dropping the act or ball, unable to keep it rolling, ending the pain or painful end in betrayal, with the Emperor and Empress both upright here, with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, stubborn and refusing to budge, but letting go a little to fix things with the Queen of Pentacles, or just over her, or she's just below him. Codependencies here. Capricorn upright, Leo reversed, Taurus and Aries both upright, dumping emotional attachments, or no longer confused. Stay optimistic, chemistry, and give your relationship a chance. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Tower reversed, after sudden events, epiphanies, or dumping a load and implementing a plan. The King of Wands reversed is with their advisor, Pisces, Virgo, Aquarius, or aide, or nun, a religious woman. The block here being the Ace of Cups reversed, purging together to expose all, the King of Pentacles with kids, Leo, or sunshine, and sweating a lot, or worried or hoping about bumping into someone with kids, or while in the sun, or one big group vacation. environment, but even more so creativity here. Remember, the spider is all about creative genius. Standing up to unwanted advances due to little lizards watching. In all business relationship, losing patience, or in the dumps, or losing their temper, battling where there's no higher love here. Announcing an end of the war, the Empress, Taurus, Aquarius with home, awake to Cancer or night, romance or shadow, subconscious, shade of the Divine Feminine in the E-Tower, coming out about the divine marriage and heaven on earth, which is 834, the dance, and the 34 of the energetic exchange, back and forth, the arrows of love. At 35, which is then the wounded warrior, the divine masculine's heart opening to union, repeating steps, no longer confusion. After sudden events, eruptions or epiphanies under the radar, knowing, the challenge being betrayal and pain, passing downloads and dumping a load, dumped on, purging, pushed to their emotional limit, with the Emperor in control and losing patience. With the Empress, awake at night, or awake to Cancer, divine feminine's heart coming out of the E-Tower, to Taurus, marriage, establishment, or religion, the divine masculine coming out, feeling a failure, in divorce, and home with new information about the Emperor challenged by betrayal or pain. Coming back downstairs due to a risk, after sudden event or overwhelmed and losing it. Fallen angel, or literally fell, in need of higher love, abundance, awakening, and aware at night of divine feminine's heart coming out with guidance at 840, which is the dance, and the Page of Cups, which is that innocent love and manifesting of dreams. So now we're going to pull a few oracle cards. I watched the movie Fatherhood last night, so that kind of stuff, that could literally be a priest of fatherhood, but also the fatherhood, it was very much about being a single father after their wife had passed. And then Manifest, watching more of the series Manifest last night as well, which is all about a bunch of people who become connected from their plane disappearing over a 5-year period and then reappearing back into the world again. So that's kind of cool because it's right in line with a lot of the energies we deal with. So let's go right to the animal deck. I'm going to pull from the Starseed Oracle as well. So from the animal spirit deck, what is coming up for the twin flames? Remember, we had Taurus, love, family, and community, the lovers, and Jupiter, which is expanding or, positive energy. But remember, it expands weight as well. So expansion isn't necessarily positive if there's no balance, right? So it's the same thing with the car, right? If you accelerate with no brake, that's no good either. Because then the only way to brake is to crash, right? And that's why the Taurus is there, because the Taurus is like the grounding mechanism of the Jupiter expansion. And then the Six of the Lovers, and the Six, that also reminds me of the Six of Pentacles, of sharing in an equitable relationship. So for the twins, our takeaway for this read today, here we have the fox. And he didn't want to go back in. Look at that, the fox and the hyena. They're both kind of shifty there. So let's see, but this one is, this one usually has negative intention. This one might just be a little bit sly in how to get things done. He doesn't have to be negative. But the hyena is a bad influence around them. They may look similar, but they may not be similar at all. And then we have the stingray as well as like the third wheel here, activating the chakra system. And again, here's the cord. And now there is some yellow in the background of the fox, right, which is confidence. But there's no confidence here. That's the difference. The fox is acting sly out of his confidence. The hyena is acting up out of a lack of confidence and insecurity within. And then here needing... And again, you see the moon, right? Then the balance of the moon here, as we go into the summer solstice, the black and white of it, which, right, nothing is ever black and white. And then we have the activation of the chakra system here in the stingray, which is referencing the electrical current of wires as well as the connection of activation, grounding yourself and connected. So let's see what else is going to come up with the stingray there, right? And that can also reference the stinger being out, like the bee, right? So, and here again is the next two cards coming up, being, like a moth to the flame. You can't help yourself but come to look at the fight, right? Or the really bad thing that happened. Like, how can you not look? Look at this. How can you not look? It's like the firefly looking at the beautiful star. Well, they may be superficial, but how can I not look? But then here's the firefly exuding their energy, and instead of them pulling their energy down, they're going to stay in their positive energy and allow the star's energy to rise and come back into their inner self, as opposed to being superficial, right? Like a superficial wound as opposed to a deep wound. And then here's the dragonfly. So notice that we had the stingray as the third card, and now the dragonfly here with the stinger on them. It's like there's always a third energy to keep them in line. That's very interesting here. And then the golden egg comes up, which is the throat chakra. It's all about the throat chakra and the speaking of the truth. But then we have, I'm sorry, it's not the throat chakra. That's the heart chakra, because the black egg is the throat chakra. But we have the sea serpent too, which is the solar plexus. And here we have the gold of the egg too. So it's very much, is that the third eye or I had to look up the sea serpent. Yeah, let me just look at that. Yeah, and the bottom of the deck is the oyster here, all clammed up, right? They're shut tight, but there's little leaks coming out of it here, so I'm going to feel into that in a second, but I just want to check on the serpent because I forget. I think it could be the third eye. I don't know why I'm thinking it's the solar plexus, but let's see. No, the third eye is the unicorn. That's right. So the sea serpent is the second. It's the sacral chakra, not the solar plexus. I knew I was a little bit off there. All right, so that makes sense because this is the Kundalini. So we have the heart chakra of the golden egg, and then the sacral chakra of the sea serpent. So it's like they're wrapping it up. So they're just telling you that we're focusing on those two chakras, the heart and the sacral, regarding, let's read the fox here. So the fox is earth. And the fox is smart, strong, partner or mate, and wise teacher. The fox is an enchanting creature with plenty of mystique to go around. Fox personalities are skillful in business and also make great teachers. They are quick to learn and adapt as well to new situations. Foxes are ideal life partners as they commit to relationships for the long term, and their natural charisma keeps things exciting. Fox energy helps us stay true to those most dear to us. When this card appears, reconnect to those you love. Foxes don't do well when they slip away. When they're in balance, they're magical and genius teachers and monogamous, but when they're out of balance, they're sneaky and unsure of their identity, and then need partnership and connection to come back into balance again. So they require, partnership here. Because they stand out so much, they need that balance. And then we have the hyena, who is not loyal. And they have humor, wit, and sarcasm. So the hyena personality is a jokester and a crowd pleaser, but below the surface there are unfulfilled dreams to be realized. When the hyena card appears, it's time to reflect on your reliance on sarcasm and humor to express your truth. Are you using jokes to hide old resentments in relationships, or to mask things that you feel uncomfortable discussing? What would happen if you took your goals seriously? When in balance, they're charming, witty, and fun to be around, But when they're out of balance, they're scrappy and petty and suspicious, and they need sobriety to come into balance. So again, it's coming up regarding alcohol issues or sobriety of some other sort. It doesn't have to be alcohol. But those are the main things. But then why is the stingray coming up with these two guys? So I do want to read the stingray as well, which is water. And then stingray is developing confidence, sense of self, or spine. All right, so the hyena needs that spine for sure. The stingray card represents a pivotal point in personal growth. The moment has come when the stingray must decide between the old, the easy, comfortable, and familiar, and the new, challenging, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar. The pressure from family and friends makes the decision even more complicated. No matter what choice is made now, it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again, as the force of Dharma growing within the stingray is too strong to ignore. So when they're in balance, they're eager and want to grow, but when they become out of balance, they blame everyone and they quit. So they need to move through the discomfort in order to get through it. So facing the, right, when they've been too comfortable for too long, it's too easy to not have to try. And that's what's coming up around the hyena, right? Because they need to change their ways. So it's like they're people around them who are plugged in are now going to start calling them on their stuff, like not allowing them to get past this point, right? They're trying to get them plugged in to the circuit here. While the fox is doing okay, the hyena may not be. They may look similar, but they are not. They don't have the same intentions. They don't come from the same place. This one is loyal. This one's not. They're very insecure, and they need to find their confidence and their self-worth. But it's coming up not through the solar plexus. The sacral and the heart chakras are being activated for the hyena here, but actually all of them at once. Right? It's getting someone to open up about their true feelings. They're like, a vault. They're clammed shut. But remember, there's a pearl to be found beneath the surface of even the most negative energies. Right? Because remember, even the highest vibrational energy may be drawn to what is very difficult not to look at. It's important to see that it's true, what actually happens in this world, but not to lend your energy toward it. Like, don't let them lower your vibration. Keep your energy high to allow this energy to rise to the occasion. Same with the fox holding their energy to allow the hyena to rise to their vibration. And then the same here, the firefly exuding light to the star so that they raise their superficial vibration to a better vibration. And then the dragonfly, which then collapses into the heart, the pulsing heart, when they mate. But there is a stinger here too to be had, and that's how they attach, like stick to stick, and they look like a 4-inch stick flying around. And also here's, growing that confidence, going from the little firefly to the dragonfly. You see how their tail grows and becomes stronger? It's like the star's transformation from the firefly exuding light to the dragonfly exuding confidence, right? Because the star shines bright because everyone thinks they're beautiful and lovely, and they may be very talented, but inside they may be very shallow. So here's them growing too, growing into a dragonfly. Very interesting there. All right, let's see what the Journey of Love has for you today. It's 12:24 on the clock, which is the 12 of the Hangman, the 24 of the Queen of Wands. It's kind of like the Jesus and Mary Magdalene energy, the closing of the gates, the culmination of both gates, the 12 and the 24, the halfway point and the ending point of the Omega. And for me, that's also the end of karma in the community, as it just turned to the 25 of that Knight of Wands, is lighting a fire under everyone's butt to get them motivated. So let's see what comes up for you guys from the Journey of Love. And I told you I'd pull an oracle from the Starseed Oracle as well. All right, so we have, I'm getting hot again. There's the Christ flame, as we just brought up Jesus and Mary Magdalene, the sacrifice. And then here is the light field, right? Feeling the energy coming in, making the sacrifice of allowing our DNA to be upgraded, which can feel very stressful, especially when you're unprotected out in the middle of the 4D bridge. Okay. It's like being caught in a shitstorm, right? And that's 63. 31 is the expansion and contraction, the conflict, but also the pursuit of happiness, right? You don't have to stay in the sacrificial energy. You can then expand into the pursuit of happiness energy. And there's the light field of the suffering and silence, the 9 of Swords. And you can choose to be out there in the shitstorm, or you can choose to go within, whether it's taking protection or just going within. And then the bride offers herself, the 43 of coming together. Right? Now she's in the shitstorm, but she's fine with it. She's not feeling it at all. She's allowing it all to go on around her without letting it take her energy down as well. And I'm sweating my butt off again now. And then soft comes up because she's soft. There's the pearl. Remember, there's always a pearl in the oyster or clam. There's always a gift to be found in the most difficult of circumstances. The 47 of the 7 of Cups, of the synchronicities and the options, the heaven in their eyes, and being soft and softening yourself, which is part of the surrender, the softening to sensual awakening with the 10 of Swords here. So we go from the 9 to the 10, which is then the reversal of the 10 and the bliss of sensual awakening. Ending the pain is then opening the bliss. So then we have the bottom of the deck, which is sacred convergence, the 28 of the twin flames, and coming together in sacred union in Hieros Gamos. And there underneath it is the pearl threaded, all right? The connection between us all is the hurt, the growth that we've been through that became a gift within, and that's how we all connect. Even though we may all be very different, we've all connected from our hurts and our wounds to become this beautiful, mature person that you've become over the years, right? To understand and be compassionate with others. The 38 of the Queen of Cups and the 28 of the Twins, the being loving, kind, and intuitive energy of focusing on the heart in union. And I'm sweating like crazy. I am going to read you the Christ flame there, and we're just going to pull a card from the Starseed Oracle deck. And let's see what comes up for you here. All right. Whew. For everybody here, 2 cards came up together. The Temple of Elevated Senses, and You Fill Up My Senses came up in the read today. You fill up my senses. That's John Denver. Temple of Elevated Senses. Impeccability, advancement, and loftiness. Okay. So elevating your senses to something even greater than you thought it could be. Being impeccable. Advancing it even when you think it's done. There's always corrections or improvements that can be made, being very lofty. And look at the pictures too, because they're activating pictures. Hold on a second. Let me clarify that a little bit. All right, so then we have Galactic Transporter, which is 45, which is the 5 of Cups, and adventure, exploration, and discovery with that. So you're going beyond, even further than you ever thought you'd go, right? Like to a place to where no man's gone before, right? So the 66 of the Queen of Pentacles and the 45 of the loss and regret, and rising above that in order to come out of it, to go to a place even further than you ever could have imagined before. And then the bottom of the deck here is the Chamber of Illumination. So look at that. The Chamber of Illumination is perspective, ideals, and beliefs, and you know now it all has to do with a change or shift in your perspective. That's all it takes. Whew. And beneath that is Temple of Centering. It reminds me of like a pool table with the hanging lights over it. The Temple of Centering, solitude, seclusion, grounding, and belonging. So centering in the chamber of illumination with perspective, ideals, and beliefs. So needing your solitude, seclusion, grounding, and belonging. It's like the grounding and integrating to see a new perspective, and then being able to come out to an even higher place than you ever thought you'd be able to go to before. So yeah, this is beautiful here. Just growing and being able to see your growth at graduation, seeing how far you came in sacred convergence, and the Christ flame. So let's read that for you, 31. Within you burns the flame of the Christ. Beyond religion, this flame belongs to all hearts willing to receive the divine, opening to it as a lover would open the heart to receive the beloved. Though the awakening of Christ within brings greater closeness to the divine, and therefore greater love and depth of compassion, it too can bring sadness, righteous anger, and a passionate need to contribute positive healing action and change in the world. You may be an introspective soul who does this through mastering their inner world with meditation and yoga, raising your own vibration with absolute intent that this bring healing to the world around you. You may be an extroverted soul that thrives in sharing messages and living a life of dynamic action in support of the causes that are worthy and moving to your brave heart, capable of feeling divine outrage and responding with inspired action. You may be a combination of these soul types, and choosing wisely what you consume, which companies you support, which television you do or don't watch, and what you read, voting for the life you want to have around you in the world through your actions, internal and external. This is the Christ flame igniting within you, setting the world aflame with the fire of divine love. This oracle brings guidance that you are connecting with the universal Christ consciousness, and your heart is meant to awaken as a sacred heart. Bearing the Christ flame of divine love this lifetime, you are part of the wave of awakening happening on the earth now, and you are exactly where you are meant to be, and doing exactly what you are meant to be doing, so keep going. Love is more than words can define. It is a feeling which wells up inside and longs for release. It's a smile which starts in my heart and spreads across my face like a silly grin. It is a knowing so deep in my being that every cell speaks a language only lovers know. And most of all, it is the beginning, the birth, the possibility, the promise of a tomorrow, the hope that grows into something we can only imagine when hearts combine and love becomes more, which basically sums up what we were just talking about. Make sure you drink your water, get your rest, get your joy and get your nature. Be good to yourselves and rise and be love. I'll see you soon. Have an amazing day. Bye, guys.